Solution readiness dashboard. Okay, so this, I think, and just to complete or just add to what you said, the idea is, again, going back to what I said earlier, you have business process experts creating the to-be process models. So designing what you want to have in the future. And then at this point you would find out, based on the content that we have, what is missing. Maybe there's something missing that SAP is not delivering, so you would then add a requirement to this process model, and we would be tracking this, and this is requirement is basically, it's a business requirement, and then what happens is, now you have maybe 50, 100, maybe 1,000 requirements. Obviously at some point these business requirements you would have to be reviewed, and then you have to hand over the ones where a decision was made in a portfolio meeting, the ones that will be developed, that will be done. Okay? And they have to be handed over to IT. Now it may very well be that the organization of the requirements as they come for the business do not fit with the, let's say, IT organization. Okay? Requirements may be coming in from different areas of the business, but the same guy in IT would do it. So that means there is a mix and match algorithm, or let's say the option, so you can condense, combine, split requirements and fit them and then turn them into IT requirements, and once they are IT requirements, then we follow the methodology that we just outlined, determined to work packages. Somebody starts, they are assigned to a person, you track the progress and then the delivery and all of this and kind of follows, but you always have that connection from the IT requirement to the business requirement. And that's why we can report in the solution readiness dashboard how you are doing with regards to the fulfillment of the business requirements, because the business wants to know what the status is in terms of fulfillment for the business requirement. They are not interested in how IT actually does it. They just want IT, you guys, to do the job. Okay? And what's also possible that's important, if you decide to have other people do some development work, so if you want to assign certain development tasks to other people, maybe even outside of your organization, you can also do this. We call this system integrators, or the, let's call them the remote factories. You can also, if you identify gaps, you can also work through the ICC, the Innovation Control Center, for instance, and leverage the premium engagement services where you can send a perceived gap to SAP, and we will take a look at it and we will come back and say, okay, it is a real gap, or maybe you just didn't know, or the system integrator didn't know that a specific capability is already available. And so it means that you don't have to develop it because it is already available with SAP. So this is, I think, a very strong and powerful solution, and it helps you again. And just coming back to what you said, Rajeev, you explained it in a brilliant way. What happens is, if you use the agile methodology, then you have all these teams, you know, working, small teams working and doing something, and it has to be organized. But the question is, how do you organize this, let's say, from an overall company perspective? Because at the end of the day, the things have to fit together, which are being developed. Okay, you have the business requirements, and at the end of the day, this has to be done, but on the other hand, you want to use the agile methodology and have the teams work independently. And here what we're doing is we're really making, let's say, agile development, let's call it company or enterprise ready, because we have that different layers. So we have the sprints, which are organized into waves. Then you have through the quality gates, you again have larger milestones. We have projects. And finally, we have the release, and we said already, we told you that the release is then again, it's the branch concept, and all of these things come together, and that means you can manage the whole project from, let's say, a top-down portfolio perspective all the way down to, let's say, the technical level, and you have all of the transparency, and I think that's a powerful solution for those of you who need all of this. Okay? And what we also have in Solution Manager New, I want to mention this as well, we now have a full-blown release management in 7.2. So that means if you're using change request management, it's not only managing changes now, but we have, and you can see it here, if you have several projects going in parallel, you can now, it's easier to assign tasks maybe to the next delivery. So that means the release management that was also something that was really needed. We have this, let's say, project-related deliveries, but again, from a program level, it is important that you can also organize into the developments into releases. You can see it here. We have these dependency charts, the Gantt charts, and if you find out that a certain project is really behind and you have to shift it to the next release, then this can be done. And what is important is then we know also on the technical level if there are dependencies, and we have these solution mechanisms built in, because if there are dependencies, if one project is late, maybe it has dependencies to another project, and in order to detect these dependencies, okay, that's very important, so that you know that maybe a certain capability is not completely delivered because there's one aspect missing, and all of this is also done. And you can then harmonize between the different projects, lots of capabilities, lots of things. Okay. Testing is also a very important aspect. We have, and then I had this on the slide before, the test suite that we are offering with Solution Manager is obviously now, or will be fully integrated with the new solution documentation. We have the testing capabilities that we are delivering with 7.2, they kind of complement what was missing before. So we are now in a position to say we have that Solution Manager 7.2 is finally the default functional testing solution that we are delivering with SAP. It is fully integrated with the solution documentation environment. It supports the on-premise, the cloud-based and the hybrid solutions. We already have lots and lots of customers, even our internal IT, fully leveraging the capabilities. We have, as you probably know, we have automated testing capabilities also built in. So that means you can do manual testing as well as automated testing. And we have support for all kind of tests. So that means regression tests, signal tests, complete tests. So we think it is a powerful suite. And you definitely should go and consider it for those of you who are not using this. And again, it is the thing, yes, you can use other test tools, but the question is then, if you use other test tools, you come back to the question of integration. And if you want to leverage all of the capabilities that Rajeev just showed, then it definitely makes sense to also consider the environment that we have in Solution 7.2. Okay, so where are we with regards to the early adopter care program? So we have 167 customers globally in the program. 16 customers are live, and you can see practically all over the world. We have customers joining or who have joined the early adopter care program, and we are, I have to say that, and again, thank you very much to all of you. Maybe we have some in the room who are taking part in the program. We are in a very fortunate situation because we have customers desperately asking us to join the early adopter care program. My wife also works for SAP. She's in the banking solutions. They have to fight and look hard for customers. We have to turn down customers at some point. We had to do this because there was too many. And obviously, I mean, you have seen all the new things. We definitely want to make sure that we have enough customers testing out the new capabilities. We want them to be stable once they are released. And you see 167 customers is really a big number. And also how many customers are using what. You can see process management, more than 50% of these customers are using the new process management capabilities. We have the many customers, 30% now on SAP Hana. And you can see there is an overall widespread adoption of all of the capabilities that we have. Now, let's take a deep breath and step back. I told you, and you have seen, that we totally changed the implementation solution documentation environment. And I told you that if you have invested into solution documentation, that the 3 levels that we have today are still available. Okay? So first, good news that I have for you with regards to transitioning from 7.1 to 7.2 is all of the documentation, all of the processes, everything you added, all of the content is preserved when you transition to the new environment. This is not trivial because we have totally changed the software architecture. I mean, it's something that you demand, and you have a right to demand this, that you're not losing content. I totally understand that, but I just want to make it clear that it was not an easy task to do it. So all the content is preserved. Okay? I want you to store this in your mind. This is important. Now, what we're doing is, or what we're seeing, or what we saw when talking with many customers is, that they have a lot of projects and content in the Active Solution Manager which is not really used, which is outdated, where people tried out things. We have projects which are not valid any longer. And we said it makes no sense to simply put all of this data, all of this information into the new environment and to continue like you do today. Okay? This is a fresh start. It offers a lot of new opportunities, and we didn't want to do this, let's call it for some pieces, garbage in, garbage out. Okay? So what we're doing is, yes, we are preserving all of the content. However, when you do the upgrade, after the upgrade, it will be in a view mode only. You cannot change it. Okay? It's available for display, but you cannot change it. And you have to go through a procedure that we call activation. So there is, you select the projects that you need actively, where you want to add content that you need for regression testing or whatnot. And then you click a button, and then this information, this content is moved into the new repositories, into the new structures. Okay? Now, this activation button comes up during the upgrade procedure, and it is a mandatory step. Okay? Yeah, it's silence in the room now. That's important. So it is a mandatory step during the upgrade. So during the upgrade weekend, you have to decide what you want to continue to use and what not. Okay? And now we're already at a low point, and I'm going to take you even lower because I want you to understand what we do completely. If you miss a project, you cannot activate it later on. Okay? So that means this information, if you forget something and you need it later on, you have to manually add it. This is just the way it is. Okay? And if you take a different approach and say, oh, this is too risky, why don't we put everything into it? Yeah, but then you clutter up all of your repositories, and then you have to do a lot of deletions afterwards because, as we said, we have this reuse mechanism, the libraries, then you have a lot of shit in the libraries, and you don't want this. Okay? Now, we know that this is tough. And so what we have done is we have sat down with a user group in Germany and in the United States, and we need to prepare this step, and we need to enable you to prepare this activation, because what we don't want is that you go blindfoldedly into the upgrade, and then the technical people come back and say, now I have to make a decision. And then nobody knows. Okay? And then you just take a decision. So what we're doing is we're offering you the opportunity to decide already on your existing solution manager 7.1 what you want to continue to use on 7.2. So that means you can take the pressure away from the upgrade weekend, and you can make and take all decisions of what you want to continue to use actively in the future well before the upgrade weekend. So that's important for me. And that's for all of you, and I've seen your faces that a lot of people were giving me feedback that you have documentation, and that's very important for you, that you understand this and that you really take this back to your teams. And now I'm going to walk you through the capabilities that we have and all the things and all the supportive material and the reports and everything that you can do in order to get prepared for this step. But nevertheless, keep in mind, activation happens during the upgrade weekend. You only have one shot, and you have to take a decision of what you want to continue to use. But all of the content that was available in 7.1 is still available in view mode. Okay? Okay, so first thing that we developed for you is the so-called projects solution overview report. So especially in the bigger companies, what happens is that you may have 50, 60, 70 projects in your system, and nobody knows if they are still actively used. And there's no reporting available. Okay, shame on us. I think we should have done this earlier. I agree, but it's, this is just the way it is. I have to apologize. So, with this report, which is available on 7.1 that you can load into your 7.1 system, we show you how many processes are in each project. When was the last date of change? So a lot of indicators of whether this content is still relevant to you or not. Okay? So I have them listed here. So what are the number of assigned roadmaps? How many structure elements are in a project? When were they last changed? Is there a roadmap available? Is there a link to a BP monitoring? Or whatever it is. And we don't have a screenshot. Maybe we can show this. Rajeev, maybe later on we do have a screenshot. We show it over there. And this report, and we even make a recommendation of what you should take over. So there's it's really dear to my heart that you use this report, download it, and we show it later on. Maybe we should, when we distribute this, we should have a excuse me, the node listed in OSS so that you can find it very easily where it is. And this definitely helps you to identify what is needed, and really, guys, do this well before. Start now. This is one of the main messages of the global roadshow that we are doing, and we're telling this every customer. Do this, start all of this well before you do the upgrade project. Okay. It's also a good chance to clean up your documentation, start from scratch, only take what is really needed, and then in 7.2 you have a clean environment, and that's really a significant step forward. And with the solutions report, I mean, it's also a chance to go back to some of the owners of these projects and say, look, I mean, you haven't done any change on this project for the last 4 years. Are you sure you want to actively use this in the future? Because if you don't need this in the future, it is still available. You can still take a look at it. But if it's not necessary, then leave it. You can still take a look at it, but don't clutter up our system. So that's very important. The other thing is, we also have a set of best practices. Is this coming, Rajeev, or shall I talk about the library first, the Cloud Appliance Library? Cloud Appliance Library. Okay, here's the next support that we are delivering. When we first talked to the user group in Germany, they came back with the idea and said, guys, I mean, hey, aren't you a cloud company? Can't you offer a solution manager in the cloud that we can try out this activation? And we said, yes, probably we can. There is something at SAP which we call the Cloud Appliance Library. So these are appliances which SAP offers. And the good news is the SAP Solution Manager appliances are free of charge. Okay? All you have to do is, if you want to use them, you have to instantiate them on Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, or Hack. Okay? So that means you have to pay for the infrastructure management. Okay? But this is comparatively cheap. It's very cheap, actually. We use, and basically, just to be clear, all the demos that we're doing here are run on a cloud appliance library system. Okay, so that we're using this ourselves. Now, what we have done is we have created a guide which tells you how you can, so step back. Customer said, okay, now we have all of this content. Is it possible that we can migrate this content, maybe a portion of it, and take a look at how it looks in the 7.2 environment before we take a decision of what we want to do? Okay? And this would have meant for customers to set up a sandbox system and then go through activation, take a look at it, because they are also, you know, as usual at SAP, during the activation procedure, there are you can also make decisions of how you want to deal with linked projects and linked information. So you have to take some smaller decisions while you go through activation. And here's what we are offering. We have a cloud appliance library, cloud appliance ready for upload of projects from your system. So we allow you to download projects from your solution manager system, import them into a cloud appliance library, and there you can go through the whole activation procedure, and then you have the outcome in a cloud appliance. You can take a look at it, you can check it out, whether you're happy with how the content was activated, and if you're not happy, you just kill the cloud appliance and start from scratch until you feel that you have found the right parameters for your activation. This is, you know, with the cloud appliance, it is very cheap, it's very cost effective, and it's very fast, so we definitely recommend it. And on top of that, the cloud appliance also offers you the chance to try out Solution Manager before it is available in general availability and without joining the ramp-up. What we see is sometimes customers want to join the ramp-up because they want to take a look at the software before it is ready, because they want to get their teams ready. And then so they go into ramp-up, but they don't want to test the capabilities. They just want to get ready for the new release. And obviously, this is not what we, from an SAP perspective, like, because we want customers to actively use the capabilities and give us feedback of what are mistakes, what are bugs, and so on. So for those customers who only want to try out Solution Manager, you can do it today, tomorrow. Just go to the Cloud Appliance Library, get yourself a Cloud Appliance, link it to your Amazon Web account, or create an Amazon Web account, and you can take a look at Solution Manager 7.2 already tomorrow or today. Okay? So I think that's and all of the graphical things that Rajeev showed, all of this is already available in the Cloud Appliance Library. And what is the, and we have several appliances, and maybe I'll just, so there are several use cases. For instance, I want to try out content activation before I upgrade. I think that's very understandable that customers want this, and we have a specific image available for activation. I want to, in general, try out the Solution Manager capabilities. Then you go for the second image. Not sure whether it's already available. We burned this slide 2 or 3 weeks ago. Not sure, Rajeev, do we have already this? If not, but it's going to come. So that means then we have an image which has preloaded capabilities where you can start immediately trying this out, even in conjunction with Hana. And if you want to try out the focus solution, so the solution readiness dashboard and everything, we also have an appliance for this. Next thing, oh, this is now where I wanted to go. You can also start preparing for the transition to 7.2, let's say, by maybe changing procedures or doing things which are already available in 7.1, and so taking away effort for after the upgrade. So I'll give you some example. I told you that the project management capabilities as they are available in 7.1 are not available in 7.2. We are relying on IT project and portfolio management. Now, IT project and portfolio management is already available in Solution Manager 7.1. Yes, it is not the highest version, but however, the change between 7.1 and 7.2 is not big. So that means if you want to use Solution Manager as your project management tool today, maybe it's a good idea to already use and implement the IT project management solution, because that's the future in 7.2. So you can focus your teams already on the new project and portfolio management. If you want to take a look at or you want to prepare your teams for the libraries and how they are organized and all of that, we do have an automated blueprint generation report which helps you to already structure the content in such a way that you can prepare your teams. Another thing is the maintenance planner. Today we have a tool in 7.1 which is called the maintenance optimizer, MOPS as we call it, okay? Maintenance optimizer goes away in 7.2. It is replaced by a cloud-based component called the maintenance planner. Now, the maintenance planner is also already available for 7.1. So if you want to start preparing for 7.1 today, you could also decide to use the maintenance planner on 7.1. Why wait? You could also use it today. And now I think, Pretty, you're going to help me demonstrate what the maintenance planner can do. You have, yes, it's locked.
So before we start, maybe a question. So how many of you are familiar with maintenance planner in this room? Familiar, used, heard about it? Okay. So as Matthias mentioned, it is already available for our 7.1 customers, and with 7.2 it becomes mandatory because maintenance optimizer will be no longer available.
If you can change it to the demo.
Okay. All right. So maintenance planner, as I mentioned, is mandatory for 7.2 customers and also for some of our next generation products like S4HANA offers Fiori related capabilities. But what I have in mind to show you today is probably the most common scenario in your landscape, which is a simple SP update of an ERP system. So what you see up here is the home screen of maintenance planner. So what I've done here, I have logged into maintenance planner with the URL that you see up here. So as Matthias mentioned, it's a cloud-based service. So you can simply log into it with this URL and with your S-user credentials. So this is a Fiori-like UI, as you can see. So let me proceed with the planning process. Okay. So what I'll do next is I will just go ahead and select the system that I want to work with, which brings me to this screen. So what I've selected here is E00 system. This is in fact a technical system. This is not a product system like we did in maintenance optimizer. So we have simplified the process in that way. What you see here is what we call is the maintenance cycle for this E00 system. And you can see a few quadrants with a few color indications. So as you can see, the sync button for the system is green. So what that means, the data available for this system, the landscape description available for this system is in green status. Does not require any user action at this point in time. Then the verification as well is indicated as green. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and click on the plan button. So as you can see here now, it's a guided procedure which will help me with this planning process. The first step, as you see, was the definition of the changes. One thing that you can notice over here, just below the E00 here, we also see another system which is indicated as the Java system, which is the dependent system for this ERP backend system. This maintenance of dependency is something that I have already done. So you see, Even when I selected only the backend system, the portal system was automatically taken into account for this planning procedure. Over here, you can see all the software details. This data is coming from LMDB to SAP support portal. Based on the current software state that we have, Maintenance Planner gives me these two options. So what I can do is, on top of this system, I can install or maintain an add-on, or I can maintain the enhancement pack which is installed on this. So I'll just go ahead and select the second option. Since I want to do an SP update, I would go ahead and select the EHP5 enhancement pack. So here I select EHP5, and then in the next step, I select the SP stack that I would like to implement. So I make these selections. So what I'm doing currently is I'm defining the changes. What that means, Maintenance Planner already knows the current software state, and I'm defining the state that I want to go to. Now in this step, I can select the other instances. The instances which are already installed are pre-selected, as you can see. Now I confirm the selection, and I move on to the next step of selection of file. So I say next, and here I can select the OSDB files, so all the kernel files, and also I can select the tools that I want to use. So for instance, if you want to use Software Update Manager for your SP update, you can also define that here. And Maintenance Planner will let you download all these archives, all the tools, all the artifacts that you need for this maintenance together in a single transaction. Another thing which I want to highlight while this is running, at the end of the process, I will have generated a stack configuration file. That stack configuration file is in fact a consolidated file which can be used for the update of your E00 system, which is your ERP system, and your dependent system, in this case the P00 system. So here I select all the OSDB file for my portal system as well. And once I've confirmed this, then I would move on to the next phase, which is similar to what we had in the earlier version of the tools, the stack dependent and independent file. So this is the procedure that I wanted to show. So here I'm selecting the USDB files for the dependent system, and I'm doing this as part of a single transaction, so I need not create the second transaction for my P00 system. The dependent system is taken care in this single transaction. So I confirm the selection here, and I move on to the next phase, which is the stack dependent and independent file. And this is an important screen, so I pause here a little bit. You can see all the archives here, down here, all the files are listed. Using this button over here, I can download the stack configuration file. And as I mentioned, this will be a consolidated stack configuration file relevant for your backend system and for your Java systems as well. The next button over here allows me to push all the archives to the download basket. So here I'm downloading the stack XML. Just take a moment here. And the next button will allow me to push all the archives that I need to use for my maintenance procedure. So as you can see, so many objects have been downloaded. Another feature that we provide with Maintenance Planner is this PDF, which is a human readable file which allows you to see the changes that you've planned. So it will allow you to see the current state of your system and the target state of your system. So this is from the demo point of view. So I'd like to wrap it up with a few key takeaways, if the time permits.
Please, oh, absolutely.
Okay, so as I mentioned, Maintenance Planner is already available for our 7.1 customers, and it comes with great operational ease. You do not have to install anything into your landscapes. You just need a URL and your S user, and you can log into it maybe in the break. Yeah, I would really encourage you to try that.
Yeah, but it's called out of Solution Manager, right? You
Yes.
do the process, so they don't need an URL. You do it out of Solution Manager.
It is integrated
Correct.
into
Yeah.
the Launchpad that we saw
Yeah.
earlier. So we have that integration as well. Another point that I wanted to mention here, Maintenance Planner is mandatory for all the products which are based on NetWeaver 7.5 and above. So even if you're a 7.1 customer, Maintenance Planner becomes mandatory for those products. S/4HANA, this is anyway mandatory. And we provide several integrated processes. If you're interested in seeing Fiori installation, I will be available at the demo pod, and I would be happy to show you the Fiori installation using Maintenance Planner. So these are some takeaways that I wanted to summarize.
And you can also, I think, plan whole system tracks, right?
Yes.
In comparison to what used to be possible in the past. So there are additional
Yes.
functional
Absolutely, yeah.
simplifications, making it easier for customers to plan a complete track. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. We do have something that we call system tracks. So your dev, prod, and queue can be logically grouped into a track, and then you can plan a maintenance or whatever on a single track. So you don't have to create multiple transactions. So these kind of simplifications are offered with Maintenance Planner.
Thank you very much. And you will be available during the rest
Throughout
of the
the
day?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
And
you so
if there are
much.
questions about implementation later on,
Please reach out to me.
Pretty is the go-to person.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for supporting me with this one. Back to the slides. Okay. Oh, I have good news. It's only 100 slides to go. No, I can see it in your faces. You're about ready for a break. But I only have a few things, but I still want to cover this. Now, Solution Manager on HANA. And I know, I mean, this let's say, second keynote of the day, we're really jumping from one big topic to the next. I have to apologize. But I try to make it as digestible as possible. But these are just the wonderful, great news about Solution Manager, right? So now we have to shift minds again. HANA, Solution Manager, okay? I already said at the beginning, 7.2 is also available on HANA, because I'm receiving this question all the time. Is it now only available on HANA? No, it is also available on HANA. And let me pause and say, no license costs involved for using Solution Manager on HANA. That's also important. So from a cost perspective, this is the cheapest HANA system that you can have in your environment. Okay, it's the hardware, yes, I know, but from a license perspective, fantastic. Okay, I see some smiles over there. Okay, yeah. It is, I think, important for customers who have an SAP HANA only strategy. So for new customers, for instance, they go for S/4HANA right away. Why use Solution Manager on the standard database? They can use it also on HANA. It is also good for customers to prepare the transition phase, because I think your technical people are just as ours. You know, they're excited about HANA, they want to try it out. And maybe you cannot go for S/4HANA so quickly, so you give them something to play, you know. Give them HANA, or put Solution Manager on HANA. Could be an idea, okay? And as I said, we have customers paying maintenance for an SAP Solution Manager database, but that's clearly an option to get rid of these maintenance payments. I know it is quite a rare case, but nevertheless, I would want to mention this. So why choose Solution Manager 7.2 on HANA? Well, there's obviously a performance increase to be expected. So, for instance, the text search capabilities are dramatically faster. ITSM tickets, so all of because what happened was we have the new CRM version in, and obviously all the improvements that they made for HANA are now also available in Solution Manager. And so the search is definitely faster. So all of the capabilities in Solution Manager, where a lot of data is being analyzed, moved, and so on, you will see improvements. Fortunately, I do not have a detailed breakdown of what the individual enhancements are, because it's very simple. I haven't received them for the customers. I'm challenging the early adopter care teams to say, we have 30% on HANA, so I want to have some numbers. If I had them, I would share them with you. I don't have them, so this is based on our own internal testing. Okay? Now, we do have a new book on SAP Solution Manager. Came out brand new. It focuses on the S/4HANA topic. Now, the good thing is we have it also available electronically, so as a PDF or EPUB format. It is free of charge for you guys. So if you send, please, if you want a copy, send a mail to SAP soulmanroadshow@sap.com. And what you need to do is put Indus Event Mumbai 2016 into the subject line, and then you will receive your individual code. And then you can redeem the book from SAP Press. Keep in mind that the book, as when you download it, it will be a personal copy, so your name, email address will be included. Don't give it to anybody else. If there are a couple of people who also would like a book in your organization, then send a mail and we have sufficient copies. Not 1,000, but well, 1 or 2 people. Few of you can do this, okay? Then we send them vouchers as well. So, solution manager 7.2. Hopefully I could convince you that we deliver value for a lot of customers, maybe even for all. Value companion to SAP S/4HANA. I decided, because I want to give you some more time, and we have all of the operations experts in the afternoon who will bombard you with more positive information. I know Janko and Andreas, I've known them for quite a while. They have lots of good news to share with you. So I decided not to walk you through the complete S/4HANA support. The ebook will contain it all. And with that, I would just say, don't wait. Start preparing for 7.2 already today. Again, from my side, thank you very much for joining us today. You will get more information in the afternoon. I will be around like all of the others. Use the demo pods, talk to us, share your feedback with us. Looking forward to many success stories from you guys in the future. Thank you very much for having me today. And I hand it back to Sonal.